Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Tuesday, April 19th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be going over a recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core plays for today, as well as my top GPP stacks from my article over at WeBetATS.com. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. We're going to start off with pitcher Michael Lorenzen. Guy that I've been pretty high on for a long time, but $8,200 yesterday. Only ended up with 4 points, so he obviously was a mess. He pitched 3 innings. He gave up 4 runs. Just kind of unfortunate there. On paper, it kind of looked like it could have been a decent matchup for him. Just did not work out that way. Then we moved down to his teammate Jared Walsh at $3,200. Had a pretty good history against Luis Garcia yesterday. 0 for 4, so he has 0 points, so he was a miss. Now we get into the better stuff. So initially we had Robinson Cano at $2,600. Obviously that game got rained out, so I said to switch to Colton Wong. He was also $2,600. He got to 9.7 points. He was a hit. He was the 4th second baseman on the slate. And then we had Trey Turner, $3,900. Got you to 22.5. He was also a hit, top shortstop on the slate. So very, very good play there. And then last but not least, we had Seiya Suzuki at $3,300. Got us to 15.4. He was a hit and the 8th overall outfielder on the slate last night. So some decent hits there. Unfortunately, we didn't get the pitcher right. If we got the pitcher right, probably would have had a really, really good lineup yesterday. The lineup that I did end up playing just missed cashing by about 1 point. So if you had a decent pitcher in there, say you got a pitcher that had 40 points instead of 4 points, we've been talking a lot of money. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to the core plays for today. So we're going to start off first with pitcher Corbin Burnes. $10,800. I know it's a hefty price tag. First start of the year, not so good. Last start, very, very good. He goes against the Pirates today. Should be a favorable matchup for him. So obviously, I do like paying up for pitchers today, whether it's Corbin Burnes. I'm not going all the way up to Musgrove for the extra $200. I think saving that $200 down to Corbin Burnes is something you can definitely do. If you want to go down to Robbie Ray and save a little bit more money, you could also do that. Then in terms of the hitters that we do have, we got Colton Wong, $2,500. Typically, I don't like to go back-to-back days on guys, but decent price tag here. He's $100 cheaper. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit more. He goes against JT Brubaker, who he's only faced one time in his career. He's 0 for 1, but Brubaker has struggled against left-handed hitters. Colton Wong hitting towards the top of the order, if not first overall, is definitely a guy I have a lot of interest in today. Then we move down to third baseman Yandy Diaz for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's going against the Chicago Cubs today. They are starting Justin Steele on the mound, a left-handed pitcher. Yandy Diaz excels versus left-handed pitching. Obviously, he's never faced Justin Steele in his life, but should be another favorable matchup for him. Not the hottest start to the year, but he's been playing a lot, like mainly every day instead of that platoon role that he has played in the past where he has excelled against those left-handed pitchers. Then we move down to Bo Bichette, $3,400. Kind of a slow start to the year when you look at it in terms of fantasy points and everything. He hasn't been bad in terms of fantasy points, but he just hasn't been good like over the top for some of these days. I believe there's only 2 0 days in there, so decent little mix. A guy that's probably not going to hurt you overall today, but has some decent success against Nathan Eovaldi as he is 5 for 12 versus him with 1 home run. If you want to switch to Xander Bogaerts in this situation, you could also do that as well. I do like having some exposure to this Tampa Bay and Boston game. If you want to build your whole lineup kind of around that game, you can also do that as well. Then last but not least, we move down to Christian Yelich at $2,900. Still a very reduced price tag for the former MVP. Starting to turn things around just a little bit here. Going against JT Brubaker, who he's 2 for 7 against in his career with a home run. Definitely like the upside that's there today. And stacking some of these Brewers hitters along with Corbin Burnes today against the Pittsburgh Pirates. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you'll have $12,900 remaining, just over $3,200 per player. So you can kind of mix and match from there. If you want to pay up for a couple guys, you can definitely do that. Whether it's somebody in that Toronto-Boston game, whether it's somebody in that Coors Field game with the Rockies and the Phillies, you can definitely do that as well. Or if you want to do a completely different situation, if you want to pay down for some guys, if you want to try to just make a more balanced build, you can definitely do that as well. Lots of ways you can go on today's 10-game slate overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article and talk about the top GPP stacks for the day. So I'm going to start off with the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. The Red Sox are going against Kikuchi for the Blue Jays. A lot of these Red Sox hitters have pretty good history versus him. So definitely a stack that I'm interested in there today. If you want to pair a little bit with some Blue Jays, definitely don't have a problem with that as well. A lot of the Blue Jays hitters do have some pretty good history versus Nathan Eovaldi as well. Then we move over to the Angels going against Framber Valdez. They do have good history versus him. Not sure Valdez is the same pitcher as he was for part of that history, but on paper, it looks pretty good. If Valdez pitches like he's pitched early on in this year, could be a little bit of a problem, but I'm still interested there as well. And then I do move over to the San Diego Padres, mainly their right-handed bats going against Reverson Martin, the rookie pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. But with that being said, these are my core picks as well as my top GPP stacks for today. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments, and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's one of the core 5 that I have listed here, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's someone completely different. Definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's MLB, NBA, NFL, or now USFL as well. I'll probably have a video coming out on Friday going over some USFL DFS. And then with that being said, if you're a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.